So the internet has been making its rounds with the Venom Last Dance reviews, and needless to say, some people love it, some people hate it. I'm in the camp where I'm kind of in the middle here. I don't necessarily think the first two Venom films were all that good. The first one slightly better than the second one. I feel like the first one didn't know what type of movie it wanted to be. The tone was completely different from the beginning to the end. And the second one was filled with so much character bloat and introductions to new characters, whether it be the villains, the various henchmen that are tied to the villain, as well as the different symbiotes. And it was just a mess all across. And then now you move into Venom Last Dance. Now, for me, I feel like this film was more complete in the sense of storytelling and tone. It was the same type of film from the beginning to the end. Now, was it a good film? Not necessarily, but it also wasn't a terrible film. It's, 7 out of 10 maybe for me if I want to go ahead and put a score on it. But there's a lot of things that happen in the film that negated a lot of the storytelling points and the plot points from the first two that they retconned in the third one to, I guess, tell a better story to fit in while we are essentially getting a third film. And it introduced a arc with a bigger villain in the name of Noel. We didn't see much of him. We didn't get a lot of that character development for the villain. It was just maybe the introduction. It served its purpose for just pushing the story in a direction, but that story was pretty much meh at best. And I don't think, in my opinion, we probably will get a Venom movie that we deserve to carry on the character in a right and proper way, unless, realistically speaking, Marvel has more of a hand in it. Now, Sony, in my opinion, has dropped the ball on multiple occasions with their Spider-Man universe, and I don't expect Kraven the Hunter to be any different from the Venom film, as far as just how it fits in the whole arc of comic book films. And yes, Venom was a little bit different. They introduced this character without the main tie to the character, and that's Spider-Man. It was a lot of things that I initially thought about this first film, Venom, that I still have from watching the third one. What was the actual point? If this wasn't anything other than Sony trying to make a cash grab based off of how well Spider-Man did in the Marvel Universe, then I don't know what else is. And there were some hints through the film that I thought we were going to get a little bit of Spider-Man tie-in, but it panned out to be absolutely nothing. Just this film itself, like Sony itself, not just speaking on this film, but Sony as a studio hasn't really created a compelling superhero film other than the first two Spider-Man. And Spider-Man 2 is arguably one of the top 5 sequels of all times, right up there with Terminator 2 and things like that. But again, lightning doesn't strike twice. And I would say maybe The Amazing Spider-Man was okay and could have been better. And we got to see what Andrew Garfield could do with Spider-Man in a better told story. So the film itself, just 7 out of 10. A lot of plot holes that were created based off of them trying to just force out a third film. It is the last, allegedly. There's 2 post-credit scenes that hint to we potentially could be getting another installment, but we'll see how that falls. Now, the opening of the film, in my opinion, threw me off, right? They brought the opening of the film in at the tail of Spider-Man No Way Home, and the sense of Eddie Brock is hopping through these multiverse universes on his way back home. And I mean, even that was not even needed in the film. And there's some things that happen throughout the film that just change the story for the worse, in my opinion. Um, Again, with the plot holes, it made the story a little bit more digestible for a cohesive film, but it raised a lot of questions. I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know where we're gonna go from here. But Sony and the Spider-Man universe is just subpar, subpar, and it hasn't been good in a very, very long time. And again, I don't expect to see anything different from Craven the Hunter. Eddie Brock, no Peter Parker. Tom Hardy did a good job as Venom, but his character also, speaking of that, changed. It was something about him in this film. He just felt out of place. Nothing about his character development from the first two films felt the same in this one. They changed his tone, his style, his appearance, just his persona of his character versus what it was in the first two films, and came off with a little bit just underwhelming. I mean, I guess that's what I can say about this whole film. It was a bit underwhelming, but I don't think it was as bad as people say. You know, I've seen some taglines and some YouTube reviews that it's the worst in the franchise, but in my opinion, it wasn't. It told a complete story as far as tone wise, but the whole series itself probably should have never been made. And again, this is Sony, and they're gonna Sony, and this is what we get. But underwhelming, 7 out of 10. Let me know what you guys thought about this film. If you've seen it, down in the comment section below. Was your perception of this film as high or as low as it needed to be going into this third installment? Until next time, guys, my name's Lincoln. This has been an RPG show. Like, comment, sub, and I'm out.